Hello and welcome back to the Gauntlet of Greatness. I'm Randy Buehler, joined as usual by Shadow Vitella. How are things, sir?
Things are good.
Things are good. Working our way through the groups here at the Gauntlet of Greatness. We've assembled 16 of the best decks in the history of Standard. Basically all the best decks, other than, okay, we retired Memory Jar after it won the first season, threw in a Tolarian Academy retirement to the Hall of Fame while we were at it. But all four of these decks are back. Mythic Conscription did well. Faeries is everybody's boogeyman. Dragonstorm and Fires will round out Group B, which is the group we're playing this week. Last week, if you watched, Necro and Tinker picked up a win. Sly and Rebels now have their backs against the wall, but the group stage is double elimination, so everybody's still live to make the top 8. Coming up next week is what I think is the toughest group. Callblade, Affinity, Jund, and Survival Recur all got drawn together. The Affinity is the toughest of the 2 seeds, in my opinion. Jund is the toughest of the 4 seeds, in my opinion. So that'll be... And I don't have any idea how to rate Rexer. Like, I gave it a 3 seed. Could be worthy of a 2, could be worthy of a 4. I have no idea. But fans voted it in, so that'll be fun to watch. And Group D also shaping up to be very interesting. It's 4 just totally different ways to look at Magic. Today, though, Group B, Mythic versus Dragonstorm is the match we've got queued up for you guys. Here is the Dragonstorm deck. Dragonstorm, Storm card, go get a dragon out of your library. That's all it does. That card, even at 9 mana, was good enough to make the finals of the World Championships 2 years in a row. The combo here is pretty straightforward. 4 Bogarden Hellkites, pointing all the damage at your opponent's face, that's 20. Drew a Bogarden Hellkite, or you need to deal some extra damage, throw in a Hunted Dragon, hasty 6 power attacker. The rest of the deck is just rituals and ways to sort of find your Dragonstorm, find your rituals. You know, a little bit of counter magic, a little bit of disruption, but you're basically just trying to put together 2 or 3 rituals adding up to a 9-mana Dragonstorm to kill them. The opponent here, the Mythic Conscription deck. So this deck, Sovereigns of Lost Alara, is the headliner here. You kind of ramp your way up to 6 as quickly as possible, and you've got birds and hierarchs and Lotus Cobras, not to mention a couple explorers. Sovereigns of Lost Alara attack with whatever's left lying around, Lotus Cobra or whatnot, and you can go get Eldrazi Conscription. +10/+10 comes out of your deck into play onto your guy. He now tramples also. Annihilator doesn't kick in unless the Conscription's in play at the beginning of the attack, but still, just a ridiculous combo. And, oh, by the way, Jace the Mind Sculptor hanging out in the deck is just pure value, I guess, backup plan, quote unquote. You know, got some Elspeths, got some Mana Leaks, just a very good deck. And it is the #1 seed in this group, but it's not really a deck that is prepared to deal with Storm. That wasn't something that was in Standard at this point in time, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. It feels a little more like a race to me, and I think the race could hypothetically go either way. All right, Shadow, I am hosting a game. I guess I'm still in the tournament practice room where I just randomly wound up today. I'm going to mute you on Skype, and we can chat more after the match. Good luck.
Good luck. Hold on. I got the wrong deck. I have to come out. Don't want to play you with Fires anymore. Dragonstorm. All right, I'm in. Let's do this.
All right, let's do this. We won the die roll, definitely. So this is turn 1 Hierarch, turn 2 Cobra, but no land. But if I draw a land, it turns everything on. I think, wow, I actually kind of want to keep this. I mean, I have 2 mana and a Lotus Cobra, and I have the ridiculous 3 useful. I think I keep this. Might regret it, but like any land gives me turn 3 Jace. Turn 3 Elspeth. A little bit of a sketchy keep. I don't know. We'll find out. Lotus Bloom, huh? Always scary. Yeah, I don't have a lot of interaction. I have 4 Mana Leaks in my main deck. And I mean, I can Jace to mess with the top of his library, but I don't know. It's really hard to do effectively when you don't know what he's looking for, you know? Does he have a Dragonstorm and need rituals, or does he have rituals and need a Dragonstorm? You don't know. Sweet. A land. Now, interestingly, do I wait on this land? No, it only gets me to... well, it gets me to 3 for Knight of the Reliquary next turn, but it gets me to 3 even if I play it. All right. The fact that it comes into play tap. If it had been a comes into play untapped land, I actually would have just waited a turn. Skipped my land drop now to make sure that I could have 4 next turn. But it doesn't give me 4 next turn. It gives me 3 next turn either way, so we'll just go for Knight. So far, so good with this draw. We should be fine now, right? Because Knight can go get more lands. Triggering Lotus Cobra, etc. Sweet. I mean, so I can play Elspeth. Is that even good? I mean, I guess Elspeth lets Lotus Cobra attack for 5. Yeah, I guess that's the play. I think that's better than playing Knight of the Reliquary. I'm positive that's better than Knight of the Reliquary. Just because the Knight gets to start attacking and then I could do this next turn, but it's my plan. Oh, it's 6. Math is hard. Now, fetch land will turn on Sovereigns, which is insta-lethal. No fetch land means we go Knight into Sovereigns on the next turn, which is kind of scary. I mean, I'd love to be playing Sovereigns this turn, but it wouldn't be lethal if I hadn't attacked him once, which is why I went for the Elspeth instead of the Knight. What's he got? He's got 2 Lotus Blooms next turn. So I mean, he can easily win the game next turn. I win with a fetch land. Do I win with any land? I win with any land. Any comes into play untapped land. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Comes into play untapped land wins me the game. Because I play Sovereigns, Eldrazi Conscription plus Elspeth makes this Lotus Cobra lethal. Actually, just Eldrazi Conscription does. I don't even need Elspeth. Oh, jeez. Interesting. Wow. He's going to go for it preemptively. I guess he can do the same math I can. He knows any land gives me Sovereigns, which kills him. Can he kill me here? Does he have a turn 3 kill? Oh my goodness, he does. Right of Flame, Right of Flame, Right of Flame. Might as well draw 3 rights and a Seething Song into a Dragonstorm. All he did was play 1 sleight of hand. 2 Lotus Blooms. Don't need them. Don't need 2 Lotus Blooms. I got you anyway. Wow. 0 cards left in his hand. Sometimes you just draw the nuts, I guess. And make him go through the motions just so you guys can see how this deck actually wins. But I'll go ahead and put the 1 on the board for the Dragonstorm deck. Wow. I kept a hand... Oh, whatever. I kept a non-interactive hand, but like when I drew the land, I thought I had him. I had a potential turn 4 kill with creatures, but... Crazy. I guess Lotus Bloom was the real sleight of hand there. I'm like, oh, I got a turn. Clearly he's not going to win till next turn. Nope. 4 Boogerden Hellkites. It's even got a leftover Dragonstorm. Crazy. And that's how you win worlds if you're Makihito Mahara. Hall of Famer Makihito Mahara. All right. So I actually like Obstinate Baloth against him because it's a 4/4 that attacks, and gaining 4 life means he has to Dragonstorm for a 5th dragon, which can be relevant. I don't love Elspeth. I mean, every once in a while she'll swing a race, and like this was a game where her +3/+3 ability was a little bit relevant. I do think there's some value in being able to muck around with his Dark Rituals. Like, I think the way I'm supposed to play this matchup is I get something that I can attack with onto the board, and then I start just stopping his rituals. I stop him from getting to 9, or at least that's what I try to do. I think I want to keep 2 conscriptions in my deck because you draw 1 way too often to cut it. Do I want to keep 1 Elspeth? I don't think I want to keep any Elspeths. I mean, it's basically 4 mana for +3/+3. That is just not good enough. And I have to cut 1 card. I don't love Explore. It just feels like the draws aren't that many draws that it saves you. Yeah, I think I'm just going to trim 1 Explorer. Especially with less up here that I'm accelerating to. Yeah, I mean, Naturalize can kill an artifact, but he's just got the Black Lotus equivalents. All right. Let's try it. Make it an upset here. Dragonstorm. Deck is nothing to be trifled with. No green mana. So I have Mana Leak. I can eventually play a Sovereigns, but I have no green mana for this bird. And basically, this is the only relevant card in my hand, and it's kind of already a mulligan. It is a 6-card hand because this conscription is almost impossible to hardcast. And these 6, they're an okay 6-card hand, but like I can look at a different 6-card hand. I don't know, would I keep that 6-card hand? I'm gonna mulligan. Wow, it's very similar. Still has no green mana, but still has 1 disruptive counterspell. Not going to 5. Yeah, I think the 6-card hand with the conscription was keepable as a 6, but below average. And it's like now, if I mulliganing it for a 6, I think is worth it. Because my expectation is an average 6-card hand. I think it was a below average 6-card hand, even though it wasn't so bad that I would mulligan. All right, he's got a Lotus Bloom. He's got Steam Vents untapped for Sleight of Hand. Funny, maybe I should have played Island. Could have stopped a Sleight of Hand. I think it's more disruptive to stop the rituals on the turn he's trying to go off. I need green mana though, or we're in trouble. This may be a big upset here. All right. I can go Cobra or I can go Knight with Spell Pierce. I think I'm allowed to tap out for Knight of the Reliquary here. Lotus Bloom doesn't come until next turn, and you know, I get to gamble a little bit given how bad my draw has been. It's the kind of time where you kind of have to start gambling a little bit if you want to win. He missed his land drop. Oh, Pyroclasm. Seriously, Pyroclasm kills Knight of the Reliquary. Where are all the fetch lands? Interesting. So I can play Knight with Spell Pierce backup. Or I can play Lotus Cobra, hoping to top deck. What do I need? Exactly fetch land? Yeah, let's do the Knight. I top deck exactly fetch land, but I could play Sovereigns and attack with Cobra, but this seems like the better line. Oh, I could have played Cobra and Knight. But then I wouldn't have Spell Pierce up. I don't want to play Cobra and Knight. I think Spell Pierce is pretty important this turn. With Lotus Bloom coming off of Suspend, Okay. He didn't have it, but I don't get to know that. So I can go get a fetch land. Like I can put Lotus Cobra into play and then go to fetch land. How far do I get if I do that? So I kept these two for Cobra. Then I turn this into a fetch land, which makes 1. I sack it, which makes 2, and I only get to 4 that way. Oh, I probably should have sacked the plains. I don't know. I'm just gonna get a forest. Oh, if I can get a fetch land. Yeah, getting a fetch land is better. My life total is not at a relevant place. And giving a fetch land in the graveyard makes the reliquary bigger. I mean, it's kind of a waste with the Cobra mana, but I did not actually need to tap my forest. It's like if I had risked it and gone Cobra plus Knight on the previous turn, taking down my Spell Pierce shield, then I would have been able to play Knights of Sovereigns on this turn. It just felt like with Lotus Bloom coming off suspend that I needed to leave up Spell Pierce. I guess I didn't need to activate that fetch land there. I could have saved it for +1 mana next turn. Yeah, that's what I should have done. His draw's not working out. All right, 1, 2, 3. Get a fetch land 4. Get a regular land 5. Noble Hierarch 6. Still leaving the Pierce up. Four, 5, 6. Yeah. Oh, I don't have to tap. I'd rather if I Arc untapped. Because it's blue mana. Now then. Oh, also, this means Giga Drowse is harder to beat me with. Oh, whatever. He can play it. Giga Drowse could have tapped everything. Yeah, this puts him at 4. I can Spell Pierce the Repeal, which he can pay for if he sacks his Lotus Bloom, but then he has sacked his Lotus Bloom. Man, I feel like I'm sacrificing so much to leave the Spell Pierce up. It's like if I was attacking with Knight of the Reliquary this turn instead of Lotus Cobra, I could have been threatening lethal too. Man. I think I pierced this. If I pierce this, if I don't pierce it next turn, well, the thing is, next turn, Knight of the Reliquary attacks for lethal anyway, and this isn't lethal. No, I think I allowed this. Because all I have to do next turn is turn This is 6, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, I'm going to let this happen. And I'm not going to replay the Cobra. New Lotus Bloom, okay. Sleight of hand is fine. I guess if I'd set up Knight as my attacker last turn, it would not have been lethal because I wouldn't have put 2 lands in the graveyard. I'm content with the way I've played this. I don't know. It's possible that there were some small edges that I missed, but I think the only big decision was whether to leave up Pierce on that one turn. All right. He pays for a fetch land. He's going to say go. He's going to say go. All right. I mean, I just attack with the Knights, right? The Knight's lethal unless he has Giga Drowse. Yeah, I have 2 of those. Does he have another repeal? Wow. Sacks the Lotus Bloom. What is he up to? Oh, and he can just barely exactly pay for it. That's too bad. Leaving up to, yeah. Why can't you be Metalik? That's sad. Now both my conscriptions are in the yard. Okay, that's annoying. What can I do? I can't play Cobra into Baloth. Oh, I can play Knight plus Cobra, or I can play Baloth with Pierce up. Play Baloth with Pierce up. Getting me up. Now he needs 5 Dragonstorms. What a weird game. What a crazy game. Note that I don't get the Eldrazi conscription unless I attack with a creature alone. So his repeals have definitely punished me for the way Sovereigns works. Now what am I doing? Still no land. 1, 2. So I can play, yeah, it's just Knight. I can play 2 Cobras. I can play 2 Cobras or 1 Knight of the Reliquary. Knight of the Reliquary hits harder. Lotus Bloom's not off suspend yet. I still have the Spell Pierce. It feels like he's gone through so much stuff. He's gone through Slight. He's gone through a Lotus Bloom. He's gone through 2 repeals. This Lotus Bloom doesn't come until next turn. He can pay for this, but I mean, I'm gonna do what you gotta do. Making him pay has some value. Sweet. So, hard to get to 9 and pay for Spell Pierce. I don't know if his hand could actually get to exactly 9, so paying 2 messed it up, or if he was just going through the motions to try to scare me, but I'll take it either way. I didn't draw any cards I regretted drawing. Yeah, I think this is reasonable. And the fact that he's got a bunch of repeals in doesn't change the way I've sideboarded, I don't think. Let's just see if we can win a game 3. Was I supposed to play an Explore instead of another creature last turn? We was on 8. It felt like a place where 1 repeal would take me off lethal. Maybe if I play... Yeah, I don't know. What does this draw do? This draw's great. All right, I have a bird, I have a leak, I have a sovereigns, I have mana. I don't feel like I'm in total control with this draw, but I mean, I'll have mana leak by turn 2. Even with all these comes into play tap lands. I mean, what I don't have is a way to get to 6 quickly. But what are you going to do? Ah, the storage lands. These are actually surprisingly good. Yeah, I just work my way through my comes into play tap lands. Not in love with land off the top of my deck. I feel a little bit flooded now. Maybe a lot flooded. And I could attack with Stirring Wildwood, but I want to leave up Mana Leak, but he's good enough to notice that I left up Mana Leak. I could have randomly Mana Leaked a Telling Time, but hitting a ritual on the turn where he's trying to go off is so much more disruptive. Got a lot of lands, though. Nice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could hypothetically play a Sovereigns this turn, but I'd have to take Mana Leak down to do it, and I wouldn't get to attack. But if I have 1, 2... It's possible that I missed a Stirring... I mean, if I hit him with Stirring Wildwoods, I have to hit him twice before I can get a one-shot with Sovereigns. Like... Sweet. Or not. I had to hope that was enough. Good grief, his draw! 5 rituals and a Dragonstorm. I didn't do anything wrong. 5 rituals and a Dragonstorm. Wow, 5 rituals and a Dragonstorm, huh?
Yeah, just be good at this game, right?
Yeah, I don't think I did anything wrong. I had kind of I kept a draw that, I mean, I had a Mana Leak, I had a Sovereigns, I drew a couple lands off the top, but yeah, when you get that draw, there's just not a whole lot I can do about it, right? I just have to kind of stick one permission spell in the middle of the turn you're going off and hope that's disruptive enough. Did you have anything in the second game? Were my spell pierce affected, or were you just going through the motions to try to scare me?
I was going to cast, and I was going to hard cast a dragon. That's what I was going to do, which would have been enough to kill one of your dudes and then be able to block.
Yeah.
And then do it again the next turn when I get the, like, basically I had 2 dragons and 2 Dragonstorms. And, like, I was never going to go off. All I could do was just do things slowly unless I drew some cards. So I had no acceleration other than the 1 card that I showed you.
Wow. Dragonstorm, the winner. That makes Group B pretty interesting. Yeah, Dragonstorm wins.
I'm surprised by that first game. That first game, I'm like, all right, so I've got you beat next turn without thinking. And then I'm like, if you've got the Elidazri, whatever that guy's called, if you have that dude in your hand, like, I'm just dead on the board. So I'm like, all right, let me do the math. And it took me like 12 times. I'm like, all right, 1 + 2 + 3 and I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I get to 9. I'll just kill you on turn 3, which I didn't even think was possible. But 3 rights will certainly do it.
Killed me on turn 3. That got the job done. Yeah. Wow. Great match.